Melena Strehlow and Noah Kohler met in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 2020. In addition to having a relationship together, they also have a business together. Noah and Melena are the founders of Cooking for Comfort. Each experienced their own traumas along their paths in life, which have made them stronger. With this strength and life experiences, the foundation of the relationship is built on vulnerability, emotional maturity, and open communication. This same base serves their business well, as they pair food with mental health.
The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Now, the opposite is actually true for Jack and myself. While he had my heart before he cooked anything, he's an amazing cook. Me, not so much. Not actually at all. Question for the two of you, Noah and Melena. Who's the cook? And is it that? Is it food? The way that you connected?
Yeah, so Noah's definitely the main cook. I would like to take credit, but I cannot. I try to dabble in it sometimes, but definitely Noah's that main cook and has that background. I wouldn't say it's initially how we connected, unless you count like drunken bar food that night. But no, we definitely find enjoyment cooking together, and whether it's, him cooking after a day of work and I'm kind of sitting there chatting with him and chatting about our days, or us like finding a new recipe and wanting to try it out, we definitely connect over it now, and it's something that's really important to us both.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, before you two began your journey together of cooking and creating, you were on paths of your own, dealing with issues of your own. I wonder if each of you would share a story of your personal traumas that you overcame that made you so committed to mental health awareness.
Yeah. You want to go or you want me to go?
Well, I struggled a lot with suicidal thoughts in high school and some through college. And I think once I finally kind of made some realizations about like what I needed to change like in my own life and like perspective changes that I need to make, my life got a lot easier. But I realized after it got easier, obviously it's a lot easier to be kind of see the big picture of it. I realized that a lot of people were dealing with the things that took me to that place. And so it made me realize that there's probably a lot of people that are feeling the same way that I am, but there's just nobody talks about it. And so I've been kind of passionate especially more recently since we've started the food truck, and that's kind of our focus about like normalizing that conversation so that people don't feel as like alone as I did and felt like I couldn't talk to anybody or talk to very few people, like people that I thought might understand. But I just think that that's what brought me into like being passionate about normalizing that.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing. How about you, Melena?
Yeah, so for me, I think I was always, aware of my emotions and my mental health, but when it really hit me was late 2019 and like through 2020, as I'm sure it did for a lot of people with the pandemic. But on top of the pandemic, I experienced quite a bit of unexpected loss throughout that year. And so that really sent me into more of that like depressive state that I hadn't ever experienced before. And I think that's when I was like, wow, this is happening to me. And it became more real. And then I think I realized, it can happen to anyone, no matter what battles they're dealing with. It's theirs and it's their reality. And so I think that's when it really came into perspective for me, was at that time.
Well, and there's comfort, right? There's comfort in knowing that you're not alone on your journey. There's also comfort in food. So the term comfort food, it exists for a reason. Let's be honest here. So what is that reason? I'm so curious to know, why do you think food is so comforting?
At least for me, like food always, like every taste and smell and like it just, and even like specific food like takes me back to a memory, especially my mom's cooking. My mom cooked we very rarely ate out when I was growing up. Like she always cooked, and she always, even actually one of the items on our food truck, we're going to do like a taco bowl. And that was something that we made, like, that was my brother and I's request, like once a week, we had to have that. And it's just, so it's kind of nostalgic having it on our menu, but it's also just something that, you know, it always takes you back to a memory. There's always, you can't be mad when you're eating food, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. You really can't, can you?
No, you can't be mad. My uncle used to say, I think it was my Uncle Jeff that used to say, if you ever had like an argument with somebody and you needed to like clear the air, take them for a good steak dinner, because nobody can be mad eating a good steak.
There you go. There you have it.
Right.
That's a very good point.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm sure this is true for the two of you. The kitchen is the heart of a home. And perhaps that's why everyone ends up there in the kitchen. No matter how extravagant the party or fancy the occasion, the best conversations are always had with food. So what do you think it is about eating together that makes talking together so much easier?
Yeah, I think that, you know, everyone wants to find a commonality with those that they're around and latch onto that to then build a relationship further from that. And so I think when it's food, right, the conversation starts with, you know, oh, this is so good, or, oh no, it's too spicy, like I usually say to Noah. And then we get into more of a conversation about, well, oh, spice brings up a story for me, right? And so I think it really opens that door to people being at more ease and being vulnerable and just having that commonality that they start with, and then it just kind of sparks from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know for sure. Because then you're on the same page, right? There's something for you both to talk about. It's the same thing with the weather, right? Like we're all experiencing the weather. We can say, oh, it's rainy. Yeah, it is. Food is much more interesting in that way. So, you know, recognizing the opportunity that eating together presents, you two founded Cooking for Comfort, which I love this name and this concept, where you elevate awareness for mental health through events with food, of course. So love to hear just details about your events and about your food.
Yeah, we love to share. So we'll be doing just traditional food truck events, whether they're like private catered events, like think weddings, corporate events, different things like that, and then public events. So think like, you know, all the different kinds of festivals that cities hold, music festivals, all of that. And then at our events, we're really going to be focusing on that awareness piece. So having some type of display set up where organizations in the local area can give us pamphlets, brochures, business cards, so people can just take them. We were really inspired by the Sip of Hope coffee shop in Chicago that does something very similar. And then for mental health specific events, we're really going to be focused on being kind of a sponsor and fostering that supportive community. So not providing any like clinical advice or support, but really connecting our community that we create with those partners in the organization that are local to Grand Rapids to provide those resources if they need them. So we'll do like awareness events that kind of give those organizations a platform to talk about their resources. And then we'll do what we're going to call comfort events. So whether it's like you enjoy yoga or books or sports, something like that, we want people to find their comfort. And so how can we kind of foster that platform for people to connect over different types of comfort events? So yeah.
And that is awesome. And now what about the food that you're serving up? Let's hear about that. What's on the menu?
We're going to be doing like 3 different menus so that people can kind of like, if there's going to be multiple, you know, vendors at one place, you don't want all of them serving burgers, you know, so we want to have kind of some flexibility as to, you know, what they can choose from. So we're going to do like a sandwich menu. We'll have 4 different sandwiches, and then we'll have burgers. We'll have 3 different kinds of burgers, and then we have 3 different kinds of rice bowls that we're going to be doing. So we'll rotate those menus like when we go to different events, kind of depending on like what people want at the event, or, you know, if we have a lot of something, maybe we'll, you know, just keep doing burgers or something like that. But yeah, and then we'll be serving chips with the sandwiches and the burgers, and then 2 egg rolls with the rice bowls.
Oh, winning. Very, very nice. And you made me instantly hungry, the both of you. Well, Let's talk about, I want to end this on a food note, right? We're all foodies here. We will all enjoy it. Favorite comfort food from each of you. Love to hear your personal faves.
Well, it's kind of funny because I would say both of us are the same. Pasta.
Yeah. Pasta.
Definitely.
I'll eat all the pasta. I'll eat any kind of pasta, any amount of pasta. I will eat all of it.
If it was healthy for us, we'd probably be having it every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, pasta for the win.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm really excited about what the two of you are doing, and I think it's a brilliant concept, and that your heart is in the right place with it. It's a win. So
thank you.
Excited to and love to just follow your journey. So excited for you. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and thank you for helping all of us just become a bit more aware now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.